Alright, so here today, as you all know, the Labyrinth is out. And let me tell you, Netmarble is a great company. I love them. They're great. Why did we change Labyrinth to Turd? Like, it was a good mode. I like farming the depths. You know what? Let's have an executive idea. Let's take Labyrinth and make them restart again just to farm it. Bro, what? Dude, depths was enough. Why the fudge you make us restart it again? It's a stupid mechanic. How many times you had to farm it? It's about 3 to 4 times. Doing the math, that's about it. It's not like it's a problem, but it's annoying. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Why the fudge did you do that? But yeah, who really cares? Just know that I hope that this is not like a permanent thing. I'm guessing because it's just for the collaboration. That's why it's like that. But if this is like a permanent thing, why? Why do it? Okay, moving forward. Today, we got the guide here. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe, helps out a ton. I'm going to be helping you as much as I can, give you all the tips and tricks that I've learned over the 2 accounts that I farmed this on. Being JP, I also farmed a few times to finish off the shop. Today, let's jump into it. New to the channel, like and subscribe, helps out a ton. Let's check it out. So, hopping into it, we got the gameplay playing in the back here. Again, I'll make this abundantly clear here. I did this on JP. Without the Overlord characters on Global, I did it with the Overlord characters. I would recommend Cocytus is your first pickup. He's the free character. Everyone can pick him up, so go and get him. He's a very good character for the reason of HP buffing. He also has an Amplified card and a Detonate card, so this gameplay is basically going to be 23 minutes long. It's sped up, by the way, by a little bit. The game was actually 40 entire minutes, but I did want to speed this up to give you my tips as fast as possible. Plus, I cannot talk for 40 minutes, I don't think so, and be able to entertain you for that. But what I will give you is a little bit of help here. First, pick Cocytus. He's a very good character and a very strong character, and he will help you a lot. This Labyrinth really does benefit from having Overlord characters on your team. So what you want to do is really use your Overlord characters. When you pick them up, if you can find Albedo or Shalltear, they are going to be very good. If you want to find Ainz, he's also a very good character to use. Realize that some bosses are going to be immune to debuffs, so watch out for a character like Shalltear, who kind of needs to debuff, correct? Otherwise, she's not hitting the damage you kind of want, because Frenzy kind of loses the 2 times, I think, crit damage effect. So realize that. But again, a character to really use really has to be Cocytus. He's going to be very good for HP buffing and whatnot, and he will help you on killing a few bosses here and there. On the aspect of non-Overlord units, you're going to want to use Red Escanor. If you can find Red Escanor, he's going to be an absolute carry. Blue Chandler exists somewhere. Try to find him too. He's going to be a character that absolutely helps you for the final boss because it's a red character, I believe so, being the White Knight or something like that. I don't know his name, actually, but again, that's there. So realize now that that is an entire aspect. Who else is there? There's a few of the characters. I didn't really see too many like Brunhills and stuff, so that's not there. I did see Scotty, and Scotty is very good too. I did see Red Tarm and Blue Tarm. You can use Blue Tarm for a bit of a stance to actually kind of, in a way, help you, right? But again, fully up to you what you want to do. What else is there? There's a few of the characters actually that are really helpful, but no festivals, stuff like that's kind of there, not there. While we're on the topic of passives, actually, let me get to passives real quick, because I just saw passives pop up. In this thing, you're going to get a lot of Overlord passives, and those passives are very helpful if you're running Overlord team. It's going to be like 15% damage increase, 25% HP increase, 25% defense increase. Again, if you're running Albedo, you kind of want those defense increases. They're going to be very, very juicy, so just realize that now. Going through a lot of the mid floors, these bosses aren't really too hard, but they do drain your HP a lot. A lot of the time, there's also a lot of green characters. They do that purposely, I'm guessing, because they know that people are going to run Albedo and stuff like that, hence why they want to counter them. I went through a lot of green stages, and on the harder stages, when there's, like, again, like the harder icon, that's going to tell you that, yeah, it's probably a green character behind it, because most of the time, my Albedo almost died because of the stupidity that was, right? But the cheat code that I did, and you want to use this, you're more than welcome to. All right, I'm not, you know, holding it back as a secret. You can go and get, guess who? Yes, Melascula. Melascula is going to keep Albedo alive, and Albedo is going to constantly taunt, keeping her alive, and you have an absolutely broken cycle where even if you die, you can throw on another counter and absolutely destroy, and then use next turn to heal back up. There's also a passive that exists, and here's a little cheat code. That passive is going to be if you survive with 15% less HP, it's going to full heal you and remove all debuffs, correct? That's also very nice. I got that sadly at the very end, but on JP that also saved me a lot. So that passive is very broken, so I would recommend to kind of use that. Again, that's there. There is the HP buffs on Overlord characters. There is the every time you get an ult orbit, you increase your damage by 7%. That is also a very good passive, so I would kind of not pass up on that one. There is also the aspect of just raw defense increases and stuff like that. In this point here, I had Red Escanor, Blue Tarm, and Melascula. I went for Melascula because she does really come in clutch here. She first off can lifesteal herself and keep your team from dying with her passive. Hence why I went with her. Tarmiel is good too because he will keep a stance up. A few, I don't know if everyone has it, but I do know that the first boss has a cancel stance. So do keep that in mind. That is Gerhard. You can't really, stance up on Gerhard there. But everywhere else, I don't think I really ran into much there, being a cancel stance. So just keep that in the back of your head. I don't think Loxina has one, but I could be wrong. So realize that now. But again, most of the time we were kind of above, surviving and killing everyone here. Took a bit of time. It takes a little bit to proc his passive. But again, when Cocytus does it, he does very good damage for the aspect of detonate and amplify. I kind of see there, he hits a lot of crits. Crit chance is also very powerful on these units because again, Albedo, when she crits, she hits like a truck. So realize that now if you can get those units, you can really, really help yourself. Again, over here, anything that's a base attack increase is very, very good. So I always went for it. Again, there's a lot of strength attribute buffs, a lot of them. I literally only kept getting strength attribute buffs. And then again, I put on Twiggo because I had Melascula. And then I said, oh, I have the opportunity to buy one of the Overlord characters. I said, hell yeah, for Albedo. I automatically know I was going to win this entire thing because of that. Again, you can literally just wait. The shop had it, so if the shop has it for you, just buy it there, and that's your good game to go. Try to get Melascula. It's a very, very nasty comp. Again, I think Gerhard here has a cancel stance, hence why I couldn't use her. And again, it'll take some time to actually buff up with Albedo, right? Because the entire aspect is to get attacked and then she has the buff. I think also Gerhard has a full heal. So keep that in mind. I think it's 50% she full heals. So just realize that. I'll tell you right now, and you see the gameplay, it's about to happen. But I believe that is the case, so just keep that in the back of your head. Here we go. Yeah, full heal at 50%, so just make sure that's clear. Albedo also in her kit has a red debuff that decreases the damage, so just also realize that now. That's going to be sort of actually very helpful, but yeah, that's basically that aspect of it. Anything else I wanted to give you on tips? Yeah, I always went for the shops, always go for the shops and try to buy a passive. If you can really do so, you can get some very juicy passives in the shop. I genuinely think the shop has like some of the best passives, so just keep that in mind. But if you really are suffering on anything, you always want to head to the shops and buy the crystals. Those crystals will give you enough of a boost if you buy enough of them to where you don't even need to really take it like this seriously. So just realize that now if you're really having issues and you can't get past a certain boss, just farm up those crystals every time, like reach the shop and then reset afterwards, and then buy the crystals again. Do it that way and you'll be perfectly fine. That's going to help you at least progress through those harder pieces of content. But on floor 2 here, again, the bosses were a little bit hard hitting. Just realize that now. So even with Albedo and her counter, she was taking a lot of damage. So again, just keep that in mind. She almost died one of the times, but I do have Melascula, hence why I was able to be saved here. They have a lot of passives all over the floors here. So realize that you really want to be taking advantage of the proper passives. That being, again, crit chance increase, Overlord characters increase, strength increase. If you're running a full strength team, kind of want to increase that strength, right? Because it's going to be very helpful. It's like 20% on all of those. There weren't many, like, if you run the same team, or like, what is it, same race teams, then you're going to get a buff. There wasn't anything like that. It was more so whatever like attribute you're using, red, blue, or green. Those were the buffs that I continuously kept getting. And that's what kind of really the way I beat it. Was having Overlord team, and then that way Melascula was just there to exist for her passive. But you can kind of see in a lot of instances, it does come in very, very clutch, right? So realize that now. But again, moving forward, the bench unit, by the way, I get later on in the game is Death Pierce, and that is a bench unit. If you are running Overlord team or any team, he'll be very good because again, he'll help you crit. And when you crit on a lot of these bosses, they just do insane damage. Again, I did a refresh here to try to get a character that I kind of wanted. Sadly, I failed miserably. So realize that now, because I didn't think any of these characters were good enough to replace the team that I already had. I was more so looking for a bench unit. I knew that I didn't want to get rid of Melascula, so I was like, what am I going to do? I checked that over there, didn't like any of the characters. And then I went and I saw this. I was like 7% increase for female characters. Yeah, because again, I have Melascula and I have Albedo, another 14% increase. I wasn't planning on getting rid of Cocytus, but I was looking if I can get Shalltear instead, because Shalltear can actually help me a little bit. For like damage dealing, but I also like the aspect that I had, again, a green character, a red character, and Albedo, right, as like the reason I did it. Again, love the mid floors. Like, this floor is very difficult, and you saw that as green. I am telling you, they did this purposely, where they made these harder floors green, because oh my god, I almost died a few times on them. All right, literally almost died on them. It was annoying, but you can see she barely lifesteals anything when she's lower level. 800 HP is it's pretty garbage, so realize that now. But That does scale as you level up the character. You can get like, what, I think one of the attacks was like a full counter, or a counter, not a full counter, but it did like 8,000 healing every single time, which is pretty good, right, for whatever damage she's taking, which again gets nullified because I picked up a passive, by the way, which is increasing her defense. That's going to be very helpful. I have to realize that now. But again, if you're not lucky enough to get any Overlord characters, I told you, Escanor exists, Scotty exists, Sariel exists. 3 very strong characters. Red Tarmiel or Blue Tarmiel, they'll be very helpful. Chandler, Cusack, they also are very good too. Though I said there's no festivals in here, I did see Cusack 2 times. So Cusack is in here. Again, you see on screen, my Albedo died here, but don't worry because my last skillless taunt is going to be there for, I think, 3 turns. So we were able to win in a lot of aspects because of this. This cheese comp was beautiful. I would recommend if you can get these 2 characters together. Oh yeah, it's going to be a blast. But yeah, on the next character pick here, let me see if I checked it. Yeah, it had a few characters in there, nothing really I cared for, so I just left it. I didn't really need a giant character, especially those ones. So again, a very, very nasty pick there. Didn't really need too much, so I skipped it. If Red Matrona's in here, she is, that stance can be pretty helpful, and taunting and tanking. That's what I used in the last Labyrinth, actually. And since then, I've always looked for that character because she is very powerful. For being able to stance. But again, the reason I am saying to try to achieve Overlord characters is because you're going to find constant Overlord passives. And again, if you do go for Shalltear, she has so many red character buffs. So you go with a red team with Shalltear, or just go for a red team with Scotty, Sariel, and Escanor, and they will annihilate because there's so many red buffs that I kept seeing. Again, there's not that there's other stuff, but I kept seeing so many red buffs and so many good red characters to be run. So realize that now. But again, more so after a lot of the difficult bosses, it doesn't really get too hard. A lot of the stuff is really kind of easy to get through. Tedious, though, it's true. It's very tedious, this one. I don't know why, but it was exceedingly tedious. This video is 40 minutes long. It usually takes me only 30 minutes or so. 45 minutes long, actually. It only takes me around, 30 minutes to get through Labyrinth. But, you know, this one took a while. But, yes, I did skip a few character cutscenes. Maybe that's why. Any other tips that I have? I wrote a bunch of stuff down. What were the passives I want to tell you? I told you the Overlord passives. There is... Oh, it also says this. There's some also regular passives. Increase the basic stats by 5% for each Overlord hero participating in battle. Damage taken passive. Decreases Overlord heroes' damage taken by 10% at the start of the ally's turn for 1 turn. Immortality. Applies immortality to Overlord character heroes participating in battle for 1 turn. Wow, look at this, dude. Damn. They're giving status buffs to Overlord? I didn't know that. So that's also there. That's really why they are like emphasizing you to use Overlord. Because the last boss also, if you know that last boss is a little bit annoying, he actually has a passive where he does 50% less damage to any Overlord character and takes 50% more damage from any Overlord character. So again, that is why they emphasize that entire aspect of it. I don't know if every boss is like that, but I know for certain that last boss is like that. Because when I jumped him and I was checking out his entire, skills or, passives, it was listed there. I'm like, wow, that's why this is, like that. But again, it's the Overlord-themed Labyrinth. It makes perfect sense to me. So not going to say anything there, but pretty cool. Again, I think I'm almost there on this gameplay to showing you the Gloxinia boss. Honestly, the hardest boss was Gloxinia, in my opinion. The last boss was very easy to get through. Gloxinia, I did get out CC'd. Maybe that's part of the reason, because I just wasn't getting buffs. I just didn't get any heals. I was mainly going for passives, so a lot of the time I skipped the buffs, which kind of sucks. Don't try to get out CC'd, bro. And then again, I think that I died at the point where it's canceled my stance, which also caused an issue. Then I later on got a stance, which made me win that. But again, if you are able to, I don't know if Nanashi's in here. If Nanashi's in there, that's actually a really good passive to also have on the bench there. But again, another thing, I just kept taunting and then using Cocytus' attack to build HP. That's literally all I did all game. That's literally all I did. Because Cocytus is a very good character for that. So realize that now. But again, you can see that when she does get a lot of defense, because I've been building defense slowly, she becomes a tank and she takes much less damage. So also realize that. But for the most part, her damage on bosses weren't the best. You'll kind of see that in a little bit. Mainly, Cocytus was carrying when it came to damaging. But that was after he buffed up. And again, I did more so get when I had max ult gauge, or rather gained ult gauge. I did a lot of damage. Those were buffs that I consistently got, which were very helpful. So just realize that if you can get those, they're going to help you in clearing all that stuff also. But here we go. We're going to start the Gloxinia fight, I think, now. Don't think there's anything left. But again, I made sure that, I said this a few times, make sure to use the shops. Those shops will save your life. Over here, I think I went for the female one. No, allies defense. It's going to be such a good buff. Try to get it, all right? But here we go. Now we're on to the Gloxinia fight here. Again, my Albedo died, and I was a little bit rough for me. I was like, what am I going to do? It's looking a little bit sketchy, but I did make it out alive. But attack disable, which is annoying as hell. Hence why debuff characters also get a lot of buffs, where it's like, you know, if you have a debuff card, you get 50% more damage for a debuff card, which is also a buff there. So if you're getting a character like Shalltear and Albedo, it's going to be pretty helpful. But got ulted on, absolutely nuked me, okay, nuked me. But I came back stronger, right? Used Cocytus' attack here for nothing. 9k. Damn, I cringed a little bit. Yeah. There we go. Now we got the HP increase. Now we have a counter on Albedo. I'm like, this is make it or break it time, baby. This is it. I used that, and I countered up. Let's see what happens here. I think my Cocytus dies, by the way. Yes, he dies. And it was all up to Albedo. Can Albedo tank this? Albedo tanked it because guess what? The one and only Molluscula exists. Now again, attacked, boom, countered again, and then guess what? Instead, I should have healed with Molluscula. For some reason, I forgot. So ignore the absolute misplay there, but Albedo absolutely carried. Very good job there. Again, if I had that passive at this point in the game where it's 15%, like your character survives less, she will get full healed. So if I had that passive activated right now, it would have been spectacular. Sadly, I don't. Another character pick here, and I went for the one only Death Pierce on the bench because I knew my team was already very good. Why would I replace anybody? So that's what I did. But again, you had a character like Sariel here. You had a character like Red Tarmiel. Those characters will very much be helpful. So if you're not going for a full Overlord team, those characters are there. Escanor again. I didn't see Brunhild. I didn't see Tyr. I didn't see Freya. So I'm not going to say those characters because I didn't see them. Every time I got a silver rank up, by the way, or card, I used it right away. Also realized that if you didn't already know, you get Gother somewhere. If you can just rank up your character, ignore that. Just use Gother and see what happens. That will also be very, very good. So do keep that in mind. But you can clearly see, look at this, man. Rank 2 is just beautiful. But yeah, lifesteal is a little bit rough here. She doesn't really lifesteal too much. So she was low health unless we got a heal, which there's a lot of heals scattered everywhere. So you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, we're coming to the conclusion of the gameplay soon. Only about 6 minutes left. And we can end the video there, but again, hopefully any of this was helpful. At least I gave you some sort of idea here. There's also a lot of ult upgrades. They kind of emphasize ult upgrades, so if you want to go and do that, you definitely can. Albedo on her ult, I don't know. It was very useless. She really didn't do too much damage sometimes. You'll see here. Will she kill actually? Because she's now at max buff. So let's see. Yeah, she'll kill. But the damage wasn't the best on a lot of stages when I was using it on JP. She was kind of folding a little bit. But yeah, she was the character I used, by the way, to rerun the stage. So when I did it over here on Global, you just saw it. She was the character that I picked because, you know, why not? She'll be automatically there. But yeah, I don't know why they did this where they like remove your whole team. Like if they let us rerun the whole thing with our team, that's pretty good. But no. But yeah, this is where I finally get that 15% passive, and I love that passive to death. So I would recommend to pick it up. There was a humans, buff on the bottom there for defense. So I think there's also one for unknown allies. So if you are running unknown allies, that'll be pretty good, but, you know, I didn't really care for it. I also went on a buying spree here, purchasing every buff I possibly could, because my characters, I wanted to out CC on the final stage there. So I kept going. I now had a very powerful buff, so I knew it was in a very clean area. Again, no really hard stage I wanted to touch, because I know the hard stages will drain your HP. Try to dodge them if you can. If you can dodge them, you need to dodge them. They are very annoying, because some of the stages can really kill your Albedo. Because it's gonna just drain your HP. They're always for some reason yellow. Yellow, bro. What? I'm tired. They're always green because they're gonna destroy blue, right? But that's basically what I ran into every time. Again, over here doing pretty decent damage. Cocytus will kill. Yeah, pretty simple there. Only about 5 minutes left and we're done. Anything else I wanted to give? I tried my best to give you as many tips as possible. But other than that, nothing really is there. Also, before anybody asks me, like, do I need these to own these characters? I'm pretty sure you don't. The whole point of this Labyrinth is to use the Overlord characters, so it would be very bad if you don't allow us to. Like, you could straight up pick Cocytus at the very beginning, even if you don't own Cocytus. So, it would be very scummy if you don't allow the characters to be used in here, if you don't own them. So, I'm going to go on, like, the way of saying that they had to allow you to use them, right? But again, I went for more buffs here consistently. Super Awakening buff and Hero buff. I need to out CC because it's going to be very annoying on that final boss there because, again, that's just how it always is. You want to out CC. So I wasn't able to out CC earlier, so I'm like, I gotta fix that mistake because again, that was the reason I also got ulted on very early. Hence why Albedo got literally just murked, But yeah, again, the counter does so much more damage. As time has progressed, I've upgraded her so much to where she barely takes any damage and she just dishes out an insane amount of damage. So realize that now also. There we go. Almost done with the stage here. What else would I wanted to say with the aspect of, yeah, the final boss, by the way, every time he gets his ult gauge, he'll actually gain an evasion buff. And guess what Albedo does? She says goodbye to the evasion buff, because by the time he gets it, while he's attacking, you'll take it away automatically. That is why, if you can get Chandler or Albedo, do it. Literally do it. On this one, I had no idea what to go for. I think I went for increased HP. No, I went for the top one, had to have. Or I refreshed, either one. Did I refresh? Yeah. Defense, dude. Defense is peak. It was so nice to keep getting defense. I then saw this. Again, I saw that there was a passive on the left of me, but I don't want to deal with that. I hate dealing with those hard stages. It just drains HP unnecessarily, and it almost cost me one of the, middle floors. So I said, hell no, not doing it. But again, continue onwards. And just tanked it with the Albedo. It's all I did the entire time. Again, if you don't have Albedo, I'll give you so many options. You'll be fine. It's not like you need to run with Albedo, but it is much easier to get Overlord characters. So, that's there. Ainz is constantly there too. I think I rejected Ainz 3 times in my entire times here. So realize if you do get Ainz, get him. He's going to be a very good support character because he's going to nullify some of their damage constantly. But I understand why people leave him. Just because Shalltear and Albedo are better. And whenever he pops up when they pop up. So I'm like, what do you want me to do? I'd rather pick them over you, Ainz. I'm sorry, bro, but that's kind of the case. But here we go. Again, the ult here. Kills. We're pretty much done. And yeah, moving up onto the almost the final floors here. And we have finished this labyrinth. I think there's only one fight left, right? Or are we done? Let's see. I took a few second break here and there because I was kind of doing multiple things. How long was the break for? A few seconds. All right. So pick up the buff here because that's the most important thing. Got some more buffs here. Didn't really need the old stuff. There we go. Had the shop. I'm like, what should I buy? Character-wise, not feeling it. This, okay. Pierce rate? Maybe we'll go pierce rate. Then I went and I looked for a heal. I'm like, should I heal? Nah, who needs to heal? And then I went for upgrading their awakening. And then I said, screw it, ready to go. And see how this goes. But yeah, we were able to out CC. I was checking his buffs, by the way. Again, look at this one, right? These are important because it shows you clearly that the entire aspect of this is to buff Overlord characters. That's what the whole aspect of this thing is. And I'm like, wow, that's why. So my characters are doing a lot of damage. This is the Overlord dungeon. Hence why you want to run them. But again, other than the evasion buff, nothing really is too special here. He gains evasion when his ultimate is full. So having a counter character counteracts that aspect, which is very, very nice. Here we go. My first goal was to just attack here, attack with that, or I think I countered first, yeah. Then attacked, and then just waited, because again, he's going to gain ult gauge. I knew that, so I was like, okay, I'll just save up the buff attack afterwards. So there we go, he heals, which is also a little bit annoying. He has a buff there, we're going to hit, nothing like it. Now full, but boom, she's going to take away evasion. Because you just have to attack once, it's going to take away evasion. So again, make sure if you see that symbol, attack with your weakest attack. Don't waste your big attack, otherwise you will lose. But there we go. I'm done. It was so easy. Very straightforward final final boss. Labyrinth, very easy. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, that's my little guide. As much tips as I can give you, my gameplay of how I did it. Again, there's a lot of cheat code characters, but I hope that whatever I gave you helped. All right? Take care. Peace out and enjoy. That's been it for me. And yeah, Labyrinth, fully cleared for Overlord.